supposed to do. When somebody comes to you for help about abuse, you're not supposed to blow them off, treat them like shit, gain control of their finances, and then use that control against them. That's why people need to be afraid of guardian abuse. Because obviously, since you aren't able to take care of yourself, which puts you at risk, you must be the one who's in the wrong because you're at risk. Well, that's the opposite of the way that it's supposed to work. My dad continues to do things that he knows make me suicidal. He continues to do things that he knows push a lot of different people to suicide. He continues to only do things in a way that he knows hurts me. He wants to claim that he wants to help, but then everything that he says or types about is about him. His wants, what he wants. Does it matter what I want? Because we did what Brian David Schwartz wanted in 2019. It didn't turn out so good. I didn't record him and Diane. While I was there, I minded my P's and Q's, and my dad was abusive as shit. I should have been recording the whole time. Because my dad went out of his way not only to not help me, but to help my predators, and to threaten, harass, and intimidate me himself. People keep telling me I need to forgive these people. For what? For what purpose do I need to forgive them? Forgiving them doesn't mean that the events didn't happen. Forgiving them doesn't mean that I'm not still going through the abuse. My dad knows that trying to communicate in the way that he is doing so is a setup and it's a trap. And it also takes far too long. I got a notification right before I pressed enter on this. I don't know if it's from my dad or if it's somebody trying to sell something, but here's the thing. When I do check it, chances are pretty good that it's not going to be my dad trying to call me. I sent him my number last night. The more desperate I am, the more of a dick he becomes. He wants to throw ideas my way, tell me what to do and what to think and what to feel. No, I'm a human being. I am allowed to feel. I am allowed to think. The things that I am doing, the things that I needed your help with are exactly the things that the lawyers told me that I needed. It's not my choice that or not my fault that you chose to ignore that. The Brian is right because Brian is always right game got old a long time ago. He wanted to abuse me for going to him for help after he had promised me that help. Instead of helping me, he abused the shit out of me up there in Washington State in 2019. I needed him to look at evidence and help me to turn this shit in. I needed help getting my disability money back so that I could actually take care of myself instead of depending on someone else. So that I could actually speak out and not have people victimize me for speaking out because they had too much control. When it comes to guardianship abuse, yeah, my dad at that point in time was my legal guardian. I am an at-risk adult who cannot take care of himself. My dad, instead of trying to help me with the situation, chose to try to capitalize on it. If he wasn't busy talking at me for hours on end about Forex.com, he was busy snapping at me for trying to get help, or busy making rules that he kept on changing. Making rules so that I wasn't allowed to defend myself, wasn't allowed to do any of the things that I needed to do to take care of this myself. I mean, I had to be afraid to even call somebody because my dad would come banging on my door. You better not be making a video. Don't fucking threaten me. Don't do that. If this is what I have to do because you're not helping and you're not willing to help, you're not willing to try and you're not willing to look, you're only willing to abuse me, then no. Do not cut me off from getting the help that I need. That is not help. If you're not willing to help me in the way that we agreed upon, you broke your end of the verbal contract. No, you do not get to play victim after that. You do not get to victimize your own son. And then pretend like you're the victim, you poor thing. So he wants to shove money at me to take this stuff down. No, that's not going to happen. The amount of money that it cost me for him to victimize me last time, no, I can't afford that again. I live homeless in a piece of shit vehicle that is stuffed full of evidence and trash and stuff that's supposed to keep me alive. Stuff that's supposed to keep me from freezing to death, but I gotta have a place to put those things, and I still don't have one. When I was at my dad's, I needed to be able to actually make the calls that I needed to turn in the predators who fucking victimized me. Otherwise, this was going to continue and is going to continue for the rest of my life. And my dad didn't want to hear that. He didn't want to care about that. What he wanted was to treat me like shit unless I did exactly what he wanted when he wanted it. He didn't want to look at any of the efforts that I had made or any of the abuse that I had endured. He didn't want to look at any of the communications between me and these people. All he wanted to do was treat me like shit. That sucks. When you look at the stuff that he was willing to help me with and the stuff that he was only willing to pretend until it came time to actually do something, the only stuff he was willing to do anything about was the stuff that would allow him control. Allow him what he thought would control me and control my mouth. No, you do me wrong, I will speak out. Just because you have the ability to destroy my finances if I tell the truth doesn't mean that I'm not going to tell the truth. And Brian Schwartz, you'd have known that if you'd have bothered to try to find out anything about me growing up. Anyway, we'll see if it's my dad who called. Or my dad who the notification was from. Good to be with you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind.